Wow, what timing. I was actually thinking that today's live stream is going to be delayed because I had a video rendering on this machine and I thought it'll get done before the live stream starts. It got done just now. So, yeah, for timing, I guess I'll just close my video editor and don't save. Cool. So I hope audio video is all okay for everyone because that video editor does take away a lot of processing power from our machine and live stream suffers as a result of it. But I hope audio video is okay. If anyone is experiencing any trouble, let me know in the chat. We'll see what we can do. Maybe I'll reduce the video resolution. The connection is also a little wonky today. But anyway, welcome to the show. This is a live stream that happens on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Yeah, only YouTube now. And thank you for being here. I usually talk about atheism and Indian culture, but we sometimes diverge into other areas also. Uh, the plan last week was that I will just read comments and respond. However, I'm not sure if we will have enough comments to do that. So, if you want the Wednesday live stream to be only me reading comments and responding, let me know in the comments in the live chat. And if anyone wants to come on screen, let me know. I'll share a link and you can come. But overall, the plan is maybe we should do only comment reading and responding on Wednesdays. And on Saturdays, we'll take live callers and talk to them. It'll reduce a little bit of stress on me also. हफ्ते में 2 दिन की जगह 1 दिन करना पड़ेगा. And apart from that, everything is okay. The week has been the half week has been decent. I hope you all also have been doing okay. So before I proceed, I'll just play the ticker, which I always forget. If you want to support this show, you can do so by clicking the join button below and becoming a member of the channel. It really helps because I'm an independent content creator. In addition, I do a bunch of other stuff that you can also support me with. I'm on Tumblr now as tumblr.com/Vimoh, same username. And if you want to support by buying merch, you can do so by going to kadakmerch.com/Vimoh live. There are t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs that you can buy to support the channel. And there is also Patreon at patreon.com/Vimoh, where you can support the channel. You can also go to my blog at vimoh.stck.me and click the support button there and make a contribution of any amount of your choice. So thank you in advance. Let me take a look at some comments. Kailash is here. He says, hello. Dumb Kid says, hi, Vimo. Excited to chat with you. I have something interesting stuff to talk about. Audio, video, all good. Okay. Dumb Kid wants to come on screen. Dumb Kid, wait a little bit. Let's wait for some other people to come. In the meantime, let me just share the link in the chat for those who want to come on screen and talk. Join by clicking here. Oh, sorry. Join on screen by clicking here because the word join has two meanings. Join on screen by clicking here, paste and enter. I will go to the channel and oh wait, I'm not wearing headphones. Hold on. I'll go to the link is shared. It's in the chat. I haven't pinned it, but let me put on my headphones. Sorry about the bit loose setting today. थोड़ा सा I was busy with something else and it got out of hand and it took a lot of time and therefore we are here. Where is my wow? Headphones cable are a different kind of animal, aren't they? Let's see. Oh, everything exists is here. Last time they were here as God exists. Let's see if I can hear them. Uh, Hi, everything exists. Can you hear me? Say something.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you. Good.
By the way, do you remember me?
Yes,
I
yes,
came, I think, last week.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Bracket में लिखा है तुमने वैसे
So,
formally God exists.
uh,
हाँ, go on.
okay. So, I got one interesting study.
Hmm.
अगर कोई सदगुरु को फॉलो कर रहा होगा,
Hmm.
so he has said कि वो जो शाम्भवी क्रिया है उनकी सो कॉल्ड लिनियर इंजीनियरिंग
Hmm.
उससे 200 से 300% या समथिंग न्यूरोनल रीजनरेशन इंक्रीज होता है ऐसे उनका क्लेम था
Hmm.
एंड ही सेड कि कोई तो भी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कैलिफोर्निया है समथिंग समथिंग उसने
हाँ.
रिसर्च पेपर पोस्ट किया
Okay.
नाउ हियर्स द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट अब लोग बोल रहे थे कि ऐसा कोई मिला नहीं बट
Hmm.
आई वेंट एंड मैंने देखा कि
हुँ,
ऐसा है नेशनल
हुँ,
इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हेल्थ के वेबसाइट पे। एंड
हुँ।
जस्ट टू ब्रेक द सस्पेंस, ऑब्वियसली ये बुलशिट बात है, सो आई एम जस्ट स्प्रेडिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन।
So did you read
तो
the
इस
study? What conclusion did you reach?
कंक्लूजन पे पहुंचने से पहले ही पता चल गया कि ये बकवास है। वो बता रहा
कैसे?
हूँ कैसे।
हाँ।
हाँ, सो जिन लोगों ने लिखा है, ये
हुँ,
5 लोग हैं
हुँ,
जिन्होंने रिसर्च पेपर लिखा है।
हुँ।
उनमें से एक है दीपक चोपड़ा।
ओके।
ओके, ठीक है? तो
हाँ।
अभी आगे बढ़ने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है। एंड उसमें से जो और बचे 4 लोग हैं, अगर
हुँ,
उनके नाम चाहिए सो आई कैन गिव, बट लोग निकाल सकते हैं। सो जो
हुँ,
4 चीज़ है, मैंने उनकी पूरी कुंडली कुंडली नहीं बोल सकते आप, मतलब उनकी पूरी इन्फॉर्मेशन निकाली। सो
हुँ,
एक तो कहीं न कहीं वो सद्गुरु से कनेक्टेड है समहाउ,
हुँ।
आइदर
या
वॉलंटरी
तो
इन्फॉर्मेशन,
ब्रॉडली या तो ब्रॉडली सद्गुरु
हाँ।
जिस टाइप के वर्ल्ड व्यू को प्रोपेगेट करते हैं,
हाँ,
उसके
वर्ल्ड व्यू
साथ
को
कनेक्टेड
प्रोपेगेट
है।
करते हैं, या फिर
हाँ।
उन्होंने जाके वॉलंटरी काम काम किया है।
हुँ,
और दूसरी बात ऐसी कि 1-2 लोग हैं, वैसे मैंने उनके लिंक्डइन भी चेक किए, तो लिंक्डइन पे है उनके, अगर किसी को जाके देखना होगा तो।
हुँ,
एंड नेक्स्ट थिंग इज़ कि जो लोग, आई डोंट नो योर व्यू ऑन आयुर्वेदा वगैरह, आप वैसे क्या बिलीव करते हो? इट्स ओके
हुँ।
कि नाउ वी शुड मूव ऑन टू मॉडर्न मेडिसिन? व्हाट्स योर व्यू
ओके।
ऑन दैट? नहीं, आपको पूछ रहा हूँ।
व्हाट इज़ द क्वेश्चन?
आयुर्वेदा पे आपका क्या कहना है?
मुझे लगता है आयुर्वेदा इज़ बेस्ड ऑन हर्ब्स एंड सम हर्ब्स कैन बी यूज़फुल। हाउएवर इन ऑर्डर फॉर आयुर्वेदा टू बी टेकन एज़ सीरियसली एज़ मॉडर्न मेडिसिन, double blind tests, etc. You know, uh, the kind of tests that we perform on modern medicine need to be performed on Ayurveda. And if Ayurveda medicines or Ayurveda concoctions don't pass those tests, then there is no reason to give them the same level of confidence as we do to modern medicine. It is
राइट।
completely possible for an individual herb to have beneficial effects, right? But when it is
राइट।
packaged as medicine and it is sold in shops, that needs to be tested and verified. And if Ayurveda practitioners are hesitating to have it tested and verified, I don't know why they would do that. But if they are hesitating to do that, there is no reason to take any particular medicine, that particular medicine, as medicine.
राइट। सो वैसे ही अब मेरे व्यूज थोड़े अलग है। सो
Hmm.
बेसिकली मतलब आई एम अपोजिंग आयुर्वेदा, मतलब अब
Hmm.
पुराना हो गया, छोड़ दो।
Hmm.
दैट्स माय व्यू। सो अब इसमें
नहीं,
भी जो दो लोग हैं।
मुझे नहीं
हम्म।
लगता जस्ट बिकॉज कोई चीज़ पुरानी होगी इसलिए उसको छोड़ देना चाहिए। पर वो चीज़ यूज़फुल है, ये साबित होना चाहिए। खाली इसलिए
हाँ, राइट।
रिजेक्ट नहीं करना चाहिए क्योंकि पुरानी है, पर इसलिए एक्सेप्ट भी नहीं करना चाहिए क्योंकि पुरानी है, राइट?
हाँ, राइट। आई मीन अभी होम्योपैथी और आयुर्वेदा इसलिए तो प्रोमिनेंट है क्योंकि बेसिकली जो डॉक्टर्स है दे कनेक्ट विद द पेशेंट्स। वो आधा
हुँ,
आधा घंटा, एक एक घंटा बैठते हैं उनके साथ बातें करते
हुँ,
हुए। दे
हुँ।
लिसन टू देयर प्रॉब्लम्स। दैट इज नॉट द केस विद मॉडर्न मेडिसिन और डॉक्टर्स। उनके
दैट
पास
इज़
इतना
ट्रू।
टाइम नहीं होता।
या दैट इज़ व्हाई दीज़
तो
थिंग्स कंटिन्यू टू हैव ट्रैक्शन। देखो हॉस्पिटल्स का
हम्म,
एक बहुत बड़ा ये है कि people only have sad memories with associated with hospital. It's a psychological thing. One of the reasons
राइट।
people don't trust doctors or hospitals is because usually unless या तो तुम हॉस्पिटल तो कोई मज़े में जाता नहीं है। तुम्हारी तबीयत खराब होती है तब हॉस्पिटल जाते हो। कोई मरता है तब हॉस्पिटल जाते हो। कोई बहुत सीरियस इलनेस होता है, ट्रीटमेंट चल रही होती है महीनों तक तो हॉस्पिटल जाते हो। तो हर किसी का हॉस्पिटल सोचते ही मन में बुरे फीलिंग्स आते हैं। और Ayurveda or homeopathy, they take care of the fact that the feeling that they evoke in the people who are using them, those are not bad feelings. So that you'll see that the homeopathic doctor actually talks nicely to people. You'll see
हम्म,
that the Ayurveda doctor, he's all about nature and benefits and peace and calm and holistic, etc. So the words they use to describe their treatments are always very sugar coated.
हम्म।
Medicine tends to be blunt. इट्स लाइक या तुम्हारे किडनी में पत्थर है या
सही बात।
तुम 4 साल में मरने वाले हो या इस टाइप का कुछ, क्योंकि झूठ बोल के कुछ फ़ायदा नहीं है। बट चूँकि हम लोग इमोशनल क्रीचर्स हैं, हमारा चीज़ों के साथ जो रिश्ता बनता है वो इमोशंस के बेसिस पे बनता है। इसीलिए मॉडर्न मेडिसिन के ऊपर लोगों का ट्रस्ट कम होता है क्योंकि एक तरफ उनको दिखता है यहाँ मॉडर्न मेडिसिन है और टेरेबल फीलिंग्स हैं। दूसरी तरफ है वो सुंदर वाली ग्रीन चीज़ जहाँ पे वो साफ-सुथरा साधु सफ़ेद दाढ़ी बढ़ा के सुंदर-सुंदर चीज़ें बोल रहा है। क्यों ना मैं वहाँ जाऊँ? बिकॉज़ वी आर अफ्रेड।
हम्म। एंड हाँ, सो ये पॉइंट इसमें कहा आया बिकॉज व्हेनेवर समवन कॉल्स और सेज अबाउट स्पिरिचुअलिटी, वो
हुँ,
ऑलमोस्ट 99 और 100%, ऑलमोस्ट 9 आउट ऑफ 10 टाइम्स he believes in Ayurveda, or if he practices Ayurveda, he believes in spirituality, etc. So
हुँ,
वैसे ही two of those who wrote the research paper, they
हुँ,
are Ayurvedic doctors. तो पहले तो मुझे वो डॉक्टर्स कहना नहीं चाहिए उनको, but
हुँ।
still, so
आयुर्वेदिक
yeah,
कोटेशन
that
में डाल सकते हो आयुर्वेदिक
a
डॉक्टर्स।
quotation,
या
quotation, yeah. So I just wanted to spread this information क्योंकि
हुँ,
even though the research paper exists, it's completely bullshit. So, yeah,
ओके, ओके।
that's the whole
पॉइंट नोटेड, पॉइंट नोटेड।
point. Yeah,
थैंक यू।
thank you.
एंड दैट वाज़ एवरीथिंग एक्सिस्ट्स। वेट, वेट, ये क्या है? आई थिंक दिस मे बी अ स्पैम कॉल। नेक्स्ट पर्सन इज़ नितिश। हाय नितिश गावड़े।
Hi.
हेलो, हेलो,
Hello.
व्हाट्स
Am I
अप?
audible?
येस, यू आर ऑडिबल, गो ऑन।
Yeah. So मेरा क्वेश्चन है इससे बेसिकली जैसे कोई था नहीं, बस मैं
हुँ,
थिंक कर रहा था जैसे हम लोग अगर एथियस्ट है तो
हुँ,
अगर हमारे बच्चे फ्यूचर में अगर हमसे क्वेश्चन पूछे कि हाउ बेबी स्पॉन,
हाँ।
तो गुड आइडिया क्या होगा?
इसका जवाब तो मतलब आई थिंक ये प्रॉब्लम रिलीजियस लोगों को भी होती है ना? लाइक इट्स द सेम
लेकिन
थिंग,
वो तो
इट्स गॉट
सीधा बोल
नथिंग टू
देते
डू
हैं ना
विद
कि बेबी
क्या वो
बेबी इज
हाँ।
क्रिएटेड बाय गॉड्स, तो वहां से तो पूरी पिक्चर ही खत्म होगी।
नहीं, नॉर्मली लाइक ये जो सवाल पर्टिकुलर बच्चे कैसे पैदा होते हैं, उसके जवाब में मैंने किसी को बोलते नहीं सुना कि भगवान ने किया है।
हम्म।
राइट? दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन इज़ देयर, एवरी एडल्ट हैज़ टू स्ट्रगल विद इट, एवरी एडल्ट हैज़ टू वंडर हाउ बेस्ट टू एक्सप्लेन द सिस्टम टू अ चाइल्ड, बट आई डोंट थिंक इट्स गॉट एनीथिंग टू डू विद रिलिजन और गॉड।
ओके।
या
बिकॉज मेरा यानी कि हमारे पेरेंट्स तो जैसे ही बोलते हैं कि जब शादी होती है तब भगवान हमें बेबी देता है।
अच्छा, सुना है? मैंने कभी नहीं सुना ये। शादी होती है तो भगवान बेबी देता है। भगवान को अच्छा मतलब मैरिज सर्टिफ़िकेट का एक कॉपी भगवान के पास भी जाता है। आई कैन यू
हाँ,
कैन
समथिंग
इमेजिन
लाइक
भगवान
दैट।
सिटिंग वन डे, अरे यार क्या करूँ आज कुछ नहीं हो रहा एंड देन सडन टिंग, अरे किसी का मैरिज सर्टिफ़िकेट है, चलो उनका बच्चा भेजता हूँ। एंड देन ही स्टार्ट्स गेट्स टू वर्क ऑन हिज़ बेबी मशीन एंड द बेबी कम्स आउट, पुट्स द बेबी इन अ पार्सल एंड सेंड्स इट टू देम।
तो आपके चाइल्डहुड का क्या एक्सपीरियंस था इस केस में?
किस बारे में?
या एज क्या आपने कभी अपने मम्मी पापा से कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं किया कैसा?
बच्चे कैसे होते हैं? मुझे ये
हाँ,
बताया
जब
गया
आप
कि
बच्चे थे।
बच्चे पेट से आते हैं, माँ के पेट से पैदा होते हैं और
हम्म।
मैंने कभी आई डोंट नो मैंने कभी ये नहीं पूछा कि पेट में होत आते कैसे हैं? आई थिंक मुझे बस लगा कि हो जाता होगा, एक टाइम पे होता होगा, निकलता होगा अपने आप एक बच्चा। मैंने ये सवाल नहीं पूछा, बाद में बहुत बाद में पता चला। या
ओके ओके, नहीं मैंने तो
ज़्यादातर
बहुत
बच्चों के
पूछा था
लिए
तो।
इफ समवन जस्ट सेज कि माँ के पेट से आते हैं, इट सीम्स टू बी
हम्म,
इनफ। शायद शायद कोई ज़्यादा क्यूरियस बच्चा होगा जो पूछता होगा पेट में पहुँचा कैसे? बट वो मैंने तो कभी देखा नहीं और ना ही मैंने कभी पूछा था।
नहीं मैंने पूछा था तो मुझे यही बोला कि तुम बड़े हो जाओगे तब तुमको पता चलेगा।
ओके, ओके। एंड मुझे मैंने
वैसे।
कई बच्चे देखे हैं जिनके लिए वो काफ़ी होता है। वो जो समझते हैं कि हाँ, लिटरली हाँ यार, अभी मेरी हाइट तो उतनी हुई नहीं,
हम्म।
मैंने फुल पैंट भी नहीं पहनी, जब फुल पैंट पहनूँगा तो पता चल जाएगा अपने आप और क्या।
That's right, that's right। और
हाँ,
एक जैसे कि मैं कॉमिक बुक से रिलेटेड, वैसे कॉमिक बुक नहीं बोल
हाँ,
सकते लेकिन मैंने अभी नोटिस किया है कि पहले जब यानी कि हम यानी कि मैं जब छोटा था बेसिकली, तो
हुँ,
हम जब कार्टून्स वगैरह देखते तो उसकी शायद मे बी हम मैं बायस्ड हो सकता हूँ, लेकिन कि अभी के जो कार्टून्स है उसमें मुझे थोड़ा यानी कि बहुत डिफरेंस दिखता है कि बेसिकली लेट्स से काइंड ऑफ ये सेंस नहीं बैठते, यानी कि जो अ, यानी कि हम जब छोटे थे तब एक्समैन जैसे कार्टून्स आते थे, ही
हुँ,
मैन टाइप से कार्टून आते थे, तो बेसिकली देयर इज अ स्टोरी, सम काइंड ऑफ moral message, there are good writings, or maybe animated
हुँ,
is
हुँ,
very good. Now
हुँ,
kind of cartoons we see, let's say छोटा भीम, so there is only one theme idea कि वो वैसे तो उस टाइम पे पॉपाई भी था लेकिन उसमें एटलीस्ट पालक खाता था वो।
हाँ,
तो वो लड्डू खा के ताकतवर हो रहा है। सो
अच्छा।
आई मे बी ऐसा हो सकता है कि हमें वो वाले कार्टून पसंद है, लेकिन आपको ऐसा लगता है कि देर इज अ चेंज, यानी कि चेंज हो गया है कि ये सब कुछ पूरा इस तरह का,
नहीं, मुझे लगता है अब भी
यानी
लोग
कार्टून।
बच्चों के चिल्ड्रन्स एंटरटेनमेंट बाय एंड लार्ज टेंड्स टू बी वेरी सकी, बिकॉज़ चिल्ड्रन डोंट
Mhm.
मेक दोज़ डिसिशंस। अगर तुम एक बच्चे को पूछोगे तेरे को कैसा एंटरटेनमेंट चाहिए, वो बहुत अलग जवाब देगा।
Mhm.
पर नॉर्मली बच्चों के एंटरटेनमेंट में क्या होना चाहिए, ये डिसिशंस एडवर्टाइज़मेंट्स सॉरी एडल्ट्स लेते हैं। जहाँ तक ये जो ही मैन वगैरह में बच्चों के लिए अच्छे लेसन्स का सवाल है, उसके पीछे कमर्शियल कारण थे बिकॉज़
Mhm.
उस टाइम पे अमेरिका में एक रूल था कि आप बच्चों को एडवर्टाइज़ नहीं कर सकते। मतलब इफ यू मेक एन एड, यू
Mhm.
कांट टारगेट चिल्ड्रन विथ योर एडवर्टाइज़मेंट्स। सो व्हाट टॉय
Okay.
कंपनीज़ डिड was that they said we are going to make animated shows about our toys, right? So they made things like He-Man
Okay.
in order to sell the toys, and He-Man
Mhm.
toys had comic books with them. And even then they said that there needs to be some kind of a preachy element in it. So that is why, because of the demands of the network, He-Man show makers were forced to put something at the end of it, कि जैसे शक्तिमान का था, छोटी छोटी मगर मोटी बातें। आई डोंट नो शक्तिमान के पीछे रीजन क्या था, पर ही मैन वगैरह का जो शो था उस टाइम पे कारण वही था। सो मुझे लगता
Mhm.
है आजकल के शोज भी वही कर रहे हैं। लाइक एवरी टाइम समवन मेक्स अ शो फॉर चिल्ड्रन, दैट इज द गोल, दैट्स व्हाट दे वांट टू डू, दे वांट टू टीच चिल्ड्रन गुड
Okay.
वैल्यूज। बट
Okay.
डिफरेंट पीपल हैव डिफरेंट वेज ऑफ डूइंग इट, और क्या।
Okay. 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 Thank you
या
very much.
कूल,
Okay.
थैंक्स नितिश, बाय बाय। नेक्स्ट कॉलर, होल्ड ऑन, नितिश क्या है, नेक्स्ट कॉलर इज सार्थक। हाय सार्थक,
Hello, sir. How are
व्हाट्सअप।
you?
प्लीज सर मत बोलो।
Okay. Hello, Vimoh.
हाय।
What I have a problem with atheism,
हम्म
and my problem with atheism is that because the term God is so abstract, undefined, and
हम्म
differs culture by culture.
हम्म
So, saying that you're an atheist, which is a negation of something
हम्म
abstract, doesn't make very much sense to me. So let's say I'm a non-violent person. So violence
हम्म
has only one meaning.
या
But let's say God, it has so many
हम्म
different meanings in different contexts. So yeah.
या सो व्हाट आर यू आस्किंग?
So my problem is anyone who identifies as an atheist. So let's say if someone asks me, I would first ask him, "What do you mean by God?"
Yeah, that's true. That's what I do. The reason I call myself an atheist because it's an easy label, right?
Hmm.
We have gods in India.
Hmm.
Christians have gods wherever Christians are. Muslims have God wherever they are. So when I say atheist, I'm giving out a general broadcast message कि भाई मैं इस category में belong करता हूँ. When someone asks me for greater detail, I say I'm an agnostic atheist. I don't know if there is a god or gods, and
Hmm.
therefore, why would I believe in something that I don't know? But usually, whenever I'm talking to people, I always ask them, "What is your definition of God?" I
So
I,
let's.
I try never to assume that
Hmm.
everyone's definition of God is the same one. There is a nominal definition of God, right? Everyone thinks there are some things most people would agree on, even if not everyone would agree on.
Exactly like yeah. Sorry, were you saying something?
Nani, go on, go on.
So exactly like I think the definition is sometimes completely opposite in fact. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
personally, I'm very very inclined towards. I don't know if you've heard of it, Taoism or
Yeah.
Shintoism.
Nature worship, and every
Paganism, let's say
object in nature has some kind of
the
spiritual
god
force
that's
behind it. Yeah.
mentioned, let's say the god term God is itself contradictory in that context, but the God that is mentioned there is actually completely powerless. Like it cannot hold any power. It is
Yeah.
basically so मतलब उसमें वो मतलब जो वैसा वाला देखो साइंटिफिक जो एब्राहमिक गॉड है उसके लिए तो अगेंस्ट मैंने काफी आर्गुमेंट्स देखे हैं
Hmm.
और
Hmm.
जैसे मैट डिलहंटी आपने मेंशन किया हुआ है
Hmm.
एंड रिचर्ड डॉकिंस ऑल दीस
Yeah.
पीपल द फोर हॉर्समैन बट
Yeah.
जो वैसे वाला गॉड है जो साइंटिफिक वो दायरे में नहीं आता वो एक ऐसी उन्होंने डेफिनेशन बना दिया स्पेशली ईस्टर्न रिलीजन्स की बात करूं मैं
Hmm. Nee, it still comes down to claiming that nature has certain properties that there is no evidence for, right? Whether or not that God exercises power over your life is a different matter. You're still
Hmm.
saying that there is something there for which there is no evidence. Now, if someone is a Taoist and says, I believe everything has spirit, and they're
Not
like,
spirit.
whatever it is, whatever the belief is, it's a non-interfering belief, right?
No, it's not even a non-interfering belief. Let's say pagan, like Taoism लेना है, paganism लेना है, हम choose कर लेते हैं, फिर उसके अंदर हम फिर पूरा चले जाते हैं. Which
Hmm.
one do you want to choose?
Whatever you want.
Okay, I'm more inclined towards Taoism, so I'll just go for that.
Okay. So give me a definition of God or
So
whatever
the
according to Taoism.
definition of God, I'll use the word Tao. is that everything comes in a flow. So फूल उगता है तो वो एक flow
Hmm.
में हो रहा है, वो किसी को दिखाने के लिए नहीं उग रहा.
Hmm.
So there's a flow in the universe with which I'm very condensing it, but there's a flow in the universe कि गंगा बह रही है तो वो बह रही है, कोई उसे बहा नहीं रहा. There's no creator, वो actually anti creator है मैं तो कहूँ, तो बह
Okay.
रही है. And evolution हो रहा है तो बस वो हो रहा है, तो हर चीज एक
हो
flow
रहा है.
में चल रही है. If you're
Hmm.
in your natural flow,
Hmm.
अब उसको जानने के वो एक पूरी अलग फिलोसफी हो रही है. इफ यूर इन योर नेचुरल फ्लो, जब आपको जो काम करना है, जैसे आपको जो ऐसे ये पसंद है करना लाइव स्ट्रीम, आप वो करोगे, देन यू विल बी मोस्ट हैप्पीएस्ट. अगर नहीं करोगे तो भी आप एक फ्लो में हो, बस वो आपको ही नुकसान पहुंचाएगा.
Hmm.
दैट इज द फिलोसफी, बट देयर इज
Okay.
नथिंग लाइक साइन अनफॉल्सिफाइबल इन इट. आर यू गेटिंग इट?
सी मैं एक और चीज़ बताना चाहूँगा. तुमने टाओइज़्म के बारे में कहाँ से सीखा?
लाओ त्जू की बुक है जैसे,
नहीं, तुमने लाओ ज़ू की बुक पढ़ी है? लाओ ज़ू की बुक की इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशंस बाय सम एल्स पढ़ी है?
नहीं, लाओ त्जू की बुक ही है, मतलब वो
Okay. So
लाइक.
here's something else that happens. If you go to an average Westerner who has never had access to Hindus and their beliefs, and you find them, what do you know about Hinduism? They will also give you a cookie cutter example of something like, the universe is, it's the cosmos itself is God. Everyone is a piece of the universe. So usually there is a cookie cutter definition of every religion available in the market, and that definition is extremely non-contradictory towards science. So there are Hindus who will say that we believe everyone is a spark of the divine, the universe itself is God, and things like that. If
Hmm.
someone takes that definition to be the definition of God according to that religion, they're not doing the thing complete justice. Now, it is entirely possible that the definition that you gave to me of Taoism's perception of the universe is the actual definition of God according to Taoism, in which case I don't have any problem with it. It seems like they're simply defining the universe in a different way, right? Using different words. And
हाँ.
in that case, I don't have a huge problem with it. But the problem with religion is that it usually doesn't stop there, right? There is usually a prescriptive element. There are also social roles included in it. Now I don't know if Taoism has these. If it doesn't, great. If it does, then the foundation that you just described, ki it doesn't really violate anything, there is nothing to be proven, there's nothing, cool, that part is okay. But
Hmm.
if on the basis of that there's like, we need a Taoist prime minister, we need a prime minister who will throw out all the other people except who are Taoist, I'm
Hmm.
sure that doesn't happen, right? But
Hmm.
usually whenever religion comes into the picture, regardless of how mundane its definition is with respect to the scientific perception of the universe, it
Hmm.
does tend to create problems.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I have 3 points जो मैंने थोड़ा-थोड़ा शॉर्ट में बोलना चाहूँगा. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल,
Okay.
मैं हिंदुइज़्म का एग्जांपल इसलिए नहीं लिया क्योंकि उसमें इतने सारे स्कूल्स आ जाते हैं. एक
Hmm.
स्कूल है जो कास्टिज़्म बोल भी रहा है, एक स्कूल है जो न्याय का स्कूल है, वो कुछ अलग ही बोल रहा है. एंड
Hmm.
आई लाइक ट्राइड टू रीड अबाउट इट, लाइक एक अद्वैत वेदांत जो कॉन्शियसनेस को भगवान मानता है, उसमें
Hmm.
इतना मर्डल हो जाता है कि आप मैं उसमें जाना ही नहीं चाहता. वो एक
Hmm.
अलग ही चला जाता है. तो मैं
Hmm.
हिंदुइज़्म के बारे में मैं नहीं जानना चाहता.
Got it.
रिगार्डिंग द कि उसमें कोई प्रैक्टिस है, तो मैं कहूँगा कि मोस्ट ऑफ द ईस्टर्न रिलिजन्स, स्पेशली जो चाइनीज साइड पे शिंटोइज्म जैसे है, पेगनिज्म एक
Hmm.
वो है, क्योंकि वो कहते थे कि सन अगर हमारे को इतनी एनर्जी दे रहा है,
Hmm.
तो हमारे से भगवान से तो कम हुआ नहीं. अब वो
हाँ.
कह सकते हैं कि वो भगवान नहीं है, वो एक्चुअल में कहीं किसी लेवल पे एक पेगनिज्म,
Hmm.
एक पेगन एथीस्ट भी हो
मैंने
सकता है.
एक मीम देखा था कहीं पे, कोई इनकन है, साउथ अमेरिकन इनका सिविलाइजेशन जो होती थी उनमें से कोई है, और उसको कोई पोर्टुगीज जाके बोल रहा है, इफ वी हैडंट कम यू ऑल वुड स्टिल बी वर्शिपिंग द सन, एंड द इनकन गाय सेज द सन एग्जिस्ट्स, इट्स राइट देयर, आई कैन सी इट.
तो मतलब आपको एक ऐसे, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मैं अपने आप को किसी उसी कैटेगरी में मानूंगा. टाओइज्म, चाहे ज़ेन बुद्धिज्म ले लो आप, चाहे शिंटोइज्म, चाहे पेगनिज्म, इन सब का मिक्सचर. और काइंड ऑफ सच बताऊं तो हिंदुइज्म का अद्वैत वेदांत का भी थोड़ा पार्ट, इन सब का एक
ओके.
मिक्सचर. अब मैं अपने को हिंदुइज्म से एक्सप्लेन करता हूं क्योंकि उसमें काफी प्रॉब्लमेटिक एस्पेक्ट्स आ जाते हैं. बट इन द अदर केसेस आई मेंशन, देयर आर नो वेरी वेरी सीरियस प्रॉब्लमेटिक एस्पेक्ट्स. अब उसमें छोटे-छोटे मिलेंगे, मैं एग्री करता हूँ उस बात पे. लाइक पेगनिज्म में मैंने सुना था एक मर्डर हो गया था किसी का, बट आई डोंट वांट टू गो इनटू दैट. बट इन अ ब्रॉडर सेंस, 99% सेंस, देयर आर नो. तो आपको मतलब मेरी आइडियोलॉजी, मेरी फिलॉसफी से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है?
नहीं, नॉट रियली. अनलेस योर लाइक, मैं तुमको ये साफ साफ बताना चाहूँगा, मुझे किसी के रिलीजन से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, अनलेस योर रिलीजन इज कॉजिंग यू टू डू थिंग्स दैट आर हर्टिंग अदर पीपल.
हुँ.
आई डोंट हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम. If you are believing something and that belief is giving meaning to your life and it's making you happy,
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it. If your belief is in no way contradicting the scientific understanding of the universe,
Yes.
thereby not complicating life for people, like, you know, हो सकता है you are completely in a school of thought where you're like, नहीं मैं तो साइंस को contradict करता ही नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं करता, and
Hmm.
then all of a sudden you say कि I believe that everything is divine and I don't want to hurt anyone, but then all of a sudden you say because my body is also divine, I will not put vaccines into it. See how
How does
that
that make
works?
sense? क्योंकि तो वैक्सीन में भी डिवाइन है ना.
नहीं, you can interpret it that way, right? My body is natural, the vaccines are there are people who do that. There are
Okay.
people who have
Okay.
religious views which are completely inane, like, you know, I'm just spiritual, but then that spirituality translates into anti-vaxxer behavior very quickly. So
हाँ, क्योंकि मैं अपने आप को
until
स्पिरिचुअल मानता हूँ, तो मैं
until
अगर
and unless your religious views don't translate into harm for yourself or other people or
हुँ,
for to the detriment of society, I don't have any problem with it. मजे करो. जो believe करना है करो,
मेरा
मजे में
मेरा
करो.
क्वेश्चन तो
Just
हो गया,
don't
बट मैं आपके आइडियोलॉजी थोड़ा करना चाहता हूँ। तो अगर मान लो कोई क्रिश्चियन है जो अपने फेथ उसमें मानता है,
हम्म,
काइंड ऑफ मैं कहना चाहूँगा समवन लाइक जॉर्डन पीटरसन,
हम्म,
उसकी उन्होंने कुछ क्रिश्चियनिटी को अलग ही मतलब उन्होंने एक कुछ अलग ही मीनिंग निकाल लिया अपनी स्टोरीज़ का।
हम्म,
वो लिटरली मैं कहूँगा इन द कोर वो शायद से बिलीव ना भी करते हो उन गॉड में या फिर कि एक्चुअल में कुछ हायर है, बट ही हैज़ जस्ट क्रिएटेड अ डिफरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ मीनिंग, डिफरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ फिलॉसफी फ्रॉम दैट स्टोरीज़।
हम्म.
सो
He's
एंड
also caused a lot of harm in society because of his views, for his transphobia and his belief that trans people should not have
दैट्स
the
नॉट फ्रॉम
right
द बाइबल,
to
राइट?
restorative service. But he starts with the Bible. He says some things about interpreting the Bible, and then that somehow turns into, like, there are people who are Bible believers who are extremely homophobic. The
No, no,
Bible
no,
would
I'm not
seem
saying
to.
that. मैं कह रहा हूँ कि let's say Sam Harris ले लेते हैं. He
Hmm,
believes in he actually like in its core he has come to like India. I don't know if you know his story, but he has
hmm.
studied under Poonja ji. Then he came to Advait
I know,
Vedanta.
I
Then he
know.
went to Tibet.
Hmm,
तो मैं कहूँगा कोर में उनका भी एक बहुत ही डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ गॉड है, पर वो जब वहां पे गए उनको लगा कि मैं प्रीच करूँ उस गॉड के बारे में, दैट्स व्हाट आई
hmm,
गॉट फ्रॉम सैम हैरिस, मैं
hmm,
प्रीच करूँ दैट फॉर दैट काइंड ऑफ गॉड, ही सेड कि
hmm,
नहीं मैं पहले एथीस्ट बनता हूँ कि तुम्हें बताता हूँ कि ये गॉड नहीं है मेरे हिसाब से।
hmm.
तो वो ही
आई
कंप्लीटली
डोंट नो इफ सी मुझे सैम हैरिस के जर्नी के बारे में डिटेल में नहीं पता एंड आई डोंट वांट टू कमेंट ऑन इट बेस्ड ऑन योर एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ इट टू मी.
अग्रीड।
सो मेरा पॉइंट जो है वो आई थिंक आई हैव मेड क्लियर कि अनलेस योर रिलीजियस व्यूज आर कॉजिंग हार्म टू यू, समवन एल्स और सोसाइटी इन जनरल, आई डोंट हैव अ ह्यूज प्रॉब्लम विद इट. इफ
ओके,
इट्स जस्ट बिलीविंग इन थिंग्स and it makes you happy, go for it, just as long as it's not causing you any harm.
ओके, ओके, थैंक यू सो
Cool,
मच। या
cool. Bye, Sarthak. That was Sarthak. I had I had three callers. One of them disappeared, then came back, then disappeared again. He's the next in queue, but I don't know if I can take them. Let me read a couple of comments and hope they come back. And if they don't, I'll take on the next caller, which is Dynamo Coders. Uh, Kong says, I convinced my brother that when he was born, he was brought in a basket by a by a stork. Everyone does this. It happened to me also. मुझे बताया गया था कि जो बादाम की भजिया बेचता है ना, उसने मुझे यहाँ पे छोड़ा था. And he is my real dad. Kong says, and since the hospital didn't have a spare incubator, he was kept in a fish tank. Okay, that's really original. I hope your brother doesn't start believing he's Aquaman. Anand says the problem is the medium of animation in this country is thought of as only for children. That is true, but things are changing. Things are changing. Uh, Dubey says rightly right. Most atheist is only used as a label because you can't talk 10 minutes to everybody to establish that you don't believe some imaginary power and things like that. Yeah, usually atheist should be a label of convenience. You call yourself an atheist because you want to send out a general message about where you stand on matters related to religion. And whenever you talk to someone about God, you ask them detail. Hey, what is your definition of God? Because even talking to four Hindus will give you four definitions. Even talking to four Christians might give you four definitions. So if our goal is to create greater understanding, we should always ask people, hey, what do you mean by God? And then talk to them. Hmm. इंडियन इमिग्रेंट, हाय हाय समर्थ, व्हाट्सअप. चैनल का नया लोगो दिख रहा है मुझे और नया इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट भी दिखा. सो द इंडियन इमिग्रेंट इज अ न्यू यूट्यूब चैनल स्टार्टेड बाय समर्थ. प्लीज गो सब्सक्राइब टू इट. Shikhar says, do you think agnostic, atheist, and agnostics are the same, or agnostics don't exist, but they are actually agnostic atheists? No. I think agnostic is the adjective we put before atheist in order to clarify why we are atheist. There are also agnostic theists. Agnostic atheist means, so agnostic means I don't know. Atheist means I do not believe. Agnostic atheist means I don't know, therefore I don't believe. Agnostic theist भी होते हैं, which is I don't know and I believe, which means that they don't know what God is, what kind of being God is, but they do believe that something is there. There are also Gnostic atheists, people who say that I know that there is no God. I don't know how they can claim that, but they say this. There are also Gnostic theists who say I know that there is a God and that is why I believe there is a God. So it's a bit of a spectrum. Uh, Dubey says, Vimoh, do you think after 30s life is difficult without marriage? Well, I just turned 40 and I'm not married and my life is going okay. So I guess it depends on people. I must differ from person to person. Someone who might have different needs than mine might find it problematic. I personally think that I would have been unhappier if I had gotten married when most people get married. My lifestyle is very fluid, and I don't think it is right for me to drag someone into it without them being okay with it. And no one is usually, I don't know most people who are okay with my lifestyle. The Indian immigrant says, wow, you just gave me free promotion. Thanks a lot. It's okay. You're a member. You get free stuff. But anyway, let's move on to the next caller because that gentleman appears to have disappeared. Dynamo Coders, what's up?
Hi, Vimoh.
Hey,
Hi.
what's up?
I'm fine यार. How are you?
गुड गुड चल रहा है बस. बताओ क्या हुआ?
आज मनाई आपने होली कुछ?
नहीं यार, हमारे मोहल्ले में आज कुछ खास मना नहीं. कल शाम को मेरे एक पड़ोसी ने एक पार्टी दी थी, मैं वहाँ गया था और मैंने कुछ खाना वाना खाया, पर आज कुछ खास हुआ नहीं.
रंग वंग कुछ नहीं होता वहाँ पे, आपके वहाँ पे?
होता है, इस बार हुआ नहीं, पता नहीं क्यों. लोग पटाखे फोड़ रहे हैं. आई डोंट थिंक पीपल वांटेड टू लीव देयर होम.
अच्छा, ये जो आपने एक शॉर्ट ये जो शॉर्ट बनाया था अभी कि वड़ा पाव, ये क्या सोच के आपके दिमाग में आइडिया आया?
कुछ सोच के नहीं है, बस आ गया और क्या. मैंने सुना किसी को वड़ा बोलते हुए और मुझे लगा इसके बाद अगर आऊ लगा दो तो वड़ा पाव बन जाएगा. सोचा इसका एक रील बनाता हूँ और बना दिया.
अच्छा अच्छा था.
My thing in life is that I'm not afraid of looking stupid, so I do stuff.
ना ये उससे जस्ट पहले आपका वो सच्ची वाला आया था ना, वो तो
हाँ,
मतलब इतना
हाँ.
फनी था. मैंने कहा ये क्या हो गया, मतलब नेक्स्ट में कुछ मैं
नहीं,
ज्यादा
उसी टाइम पे
एक्सपेक्ट
ये
कर
खबर
रहा
भी
था.
आई थी कि so on the main channel, for some reason there are features of YouTube that I get access to on the main channel that I don't get access on this one. For example, YouTube के अंदर integrated podcasting आ रही है और मुझे वो फीचर
अच्छा.
अवेलेबल हो गया है. मेरा जो दूसरा पॉडकास्ट है ना, इंडियन एथीस्ट पॉडकास्ट, मैंने उसको मेन चैनल पे
हाँ
इंटीग्रेट
हाँ.
कर दिया है. सो मेरे डैशबोर्ड के अंदर जो आते हैं ना, कंटेंट टैब के अंदर जाने के बाद, आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ यू आर अवेयर ऑफ द यूट्यूब इंटरफेस,
नहीं,
बट
आई एम
आते
अवेयर,
हैं
आई एम अवेयर. या.
वीडियो, शॉर्ट्स, लाइव स्ट्रीम एक्सेट्रा आते हैं कंटेंट में टैब्स. मेरा उसके साथ एक पॉडकास्ट टैब्स भी आ रहा है. So if I
अच्छा.
click on that, I go to a tab where I can add videos into a certain podcast, and it appears like a podcast on my main page. And soon the podcast will be available on what's it called, YouTube Music. So YouTube is getting into podcasting and I have access to that feature. So ये बता इसलिए रहा हूँ क्योंकि YouTube Shorts कुछ दिनों पहले मोनेटाइज होने शुरू हो गए. And that comedy वाला जो किया था ना, सच्ची वाला, it got a lot of views compared to my usual stuff. So I thought, am I funny? Maybe I should try being funny. So I made a vada pav thing, and it kind of
हाँ.
worked, and it kind of didn't work. I don't know what to make of it, but I don't think I'm going to do comedy consistently.
Now let me be brutally honest to you. It wasn't funny at all.
I kind of agree with you.
हाँ, ये ऐसा लग रहा था कि आपने इमीडिएटली सोचा और आपने सोचा चलो यार
हाँ,
बना देते हैं, कुछ सोचा
हाँ,
वोचा
वही हुआ,
नहीं
वही किया
सीधा.
मैंने. A lot of my videos are like that only. Like मैं प्रणव से बात करता हूँ ना कंटेंट क्रिएशन के बारे में, उसका प्रोसेस बहुत ही लॉन्ग, मतलब एलेबोरेट है. वो वीडियो के बारे में सोचता है, फिर बैठ के 4 दिन स्क्रिप्ट लिखता है, फिर ही हैज़ राइटर्स हु हेल्प हिम विथ इट, एंड देन इवेंचुअली ही इट गोज फॉर एडिटिंग. ही हैज़ अ शेड्यूल कि इस दिन वीडियो बाहर आएगा. मेरा पता है क्या होता है, मैं यहाँ बैठा होता हूँ, कुछ कर रहा होता हूँ, कुछ देखता हूँ, मुझे एक आइडिया आता है, मैं कैमरा ऑन करता हूँ, सीधे बोलना शुरू कर देता हूँ और 26, 27, 30 मिनट तक बोलने के बाद उसको काट-कूट करता हूँ। कटने के बाद वो लगभग 5, 10 मिनट 15 या 10 मिनट का रह जाता है। उसमें बस अपना नाम ऐड कर देता हूँ, लास्ट में थोड़ा स्पेस छोड़ देता हूँ ताकि एंड कार्ड ऐड कर सकूँ, म्यूज़िक ऐड कर देता हूँ और अपलोड कर देता हूँ। My video process is from idea to upload is like 3 hours. So my content creation process is quite chaotic.
पहले आपका बहुत मतलब एकदम फास्ट फास्ट था, बीच में थोड़ा स्लो डाउन हुआ था नहीं?
क्या कौन सा
अभी
चीज़?
वापस लग रहा है थोड़ा सा पेस पकड़ रहा है, मतलब बीच में कंटेंट वाला अभी थोड़ा सा लग रहा है कि आप ग्रो करने को हो रहे हो, कि मतलब
नहीं मतलब
आपका
फास्ट था, स्लो था, किस चीज़ की बात कर रहे हो? सब्सक्राइबर ग्रो करने का रेट?
वीडियोस बनाने का रेट, मतलब जैसे
वीडियोज़
अभी
डालने का
कॉमेडी आपने
फ्रीक्वेंसी?
निकाला, नए नए आइडियाज लाना, जैसे
I
जैसे
don't know
ये
what you're
कॉमेडी
referring
वाला
to.
था, ये
Okay.
कॉमेडी, हाँ,
Yeah, I'm a
ऐसे
huge
सच्ची
fan of
वाला थोड़ी बनाया था आपने, सच्ची।
सच्ची वाला। सच्ची वाला इंस्टाग्राम पे डालने के लिए बनाया था एक्चुअली, और जब वहाँ पे डाला तो सोचा यूट्यूब पे
काफी
भी डाल ही
बढ़िया
देता
था
हूँ।
यार वो,
हाँ,
काफी
अच्छा
बढ़िया
था,
था।
अच्छा था। आई थिंक आई शुड कंटिन्यू
काफी,
इट एंड आई शुड पुट आउट टी-शर्ट्स दैट से गुड मनी एंड सच्ची। Maybe those will sell.
हाँ, but when I try to think of things that we will find funny, not you will find funny.
Yeah.
Because
Vada
sometimes you
pav.
laugh at things. हाँ,
Yeah, that's true. That's
some,
true. I should do that. I should do that.
हाँ, क्योंकि मैं कई बार बहुत चीजों पे हंसता रहता हूँ, फिर मेरे को लगता है यार अगर मैंने किसी और को बोला ना कोई नहीं हंसेगा, ये मैं अपने साथ ही रख
हाँ,
लेता हूँ।
नहीं तुम में और मुझ में फ़र्क ये है कि you care and I don't.
नहीं वो सही बात है, हाँ, वो मुझे सीखना चाहिए आपसे।
नहीं, नहीं मुझे ये I should think more about the audience. Maybe we
हाँ
can find a middle ground. You come a little bit this side and you start thinking about yourself, and I move a little
मैं
bit that side. I start thinking about my audience.
हाँ, मैं जब देख रहा था मैंने कहा कि यार ये ना शायद से फनी है, मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा इसे, फिर मैंने कमेंट देखा। फिर मैं कमेंट्स देखे, हाँ, फिर मेरे को लगा नहीं मैं ठीक हूँ, मतलब मैं ठीक हूँ, शायद इसी में कुछ प्रॉब्लम था।
हाँ,
हाँ,
but
तो
anyway,
मैं
Darbo, I okay, नहीं तुम बोल सकते हो। जो व्यक्ति तुम्हारे बात था वो गायब हो गया। हाँ, बोलो।
अच्छा, मैं सही है, वो समझ जाता है कि किसी को बोलने का मन कर रहा है।
हम्म।
हाँ, तो मैं ऐसे सोच रहा था कि क्या आपको ऐसे कभी मतलब ऐसे ऐसे लगता है आपको कि हम जनरली कोई भी अपने लेंस के शिकार हो जाते हैं, मतलब जिस जिस लेंस से हम दुनिया को देखते हैं वो बदल नहीं पाते हैं, मतलब इवन
हाँ।
इवन इवन द पीपल हु कॉल देमसेल्व्स एथीस्ट लाइक यू एंड
हम्म।
आई इन
हम्म।
सम थिंग्स,
हम्म।
कि या आपने ऐसा नोटिस किया हो कि आपका कभी स्टेट ऑफ माइंड चेंज होता है तो आपको लगता है कि यार नहीं ये सही था, और
हम्म।
जब स्टेट ऑफ माइंड वापस वहीं जाता है तो आपको लगता है नहीं वो सही था, ऐसा होता है आपके साथ
मेरे साथ
स्टेट
तो
ऑफ
हो
माइंड
चुका
चेंज
है।
होने से?
लाइक यू ऑल नो दैट माय स्टेट ऑफ माइंड चेंज्ड, राइट? मैं राइट विंग पे था, मैं संघी था, मैं भक्त था, और अब मैं नहीं हूँ। सो आई एक्चुअली I'm not saying this with the intention of implying that I'm better than other people, बट मैं
हम्म
हमेशा से काफ़ी सेल्फ क्रिटिकल रहा हूँ। लाइक
हम्म
मैं जो भी चीज़ बोलता हूँ, मैं उसके ऊपर खुद काफ़ी मेंटल एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन करने के बाद उसको उस पर विश्वास करता हूँ। सो मैं सस्ते में एथीस्ट नहीं बना। मैंने बहुत सोच समझ के एथीज़्म का रास्ता अपनाया। मैंने अपने खुद के व्यूज़ को बहुत ज़्यादा डाइसेक्ट किया, उसके बाद मैं यहाँ पहुँचा। Yet, it is possible for what you said to be happening to me. It is possible that there are things I believe, which I believe simply because it is convenient for me to believe those things.
can I ask you something that
हाँ,
that you may not like maybe,
हाँ, sure, sure.
कि do you think sometimes कि uh, you are not welcoming certain ideas into your mind now?
Honestly, no, I don't think so. Because I do listen to a lot of things from a lot of people,
Hmm.
and I do give them quite a lot of leeway. Like तुमने मेरे साथ बात की है कई बार इस लाइव स्ट्रीम पे. Do you
हम्म।
think I find I shut out ideas?
नहीं नहीं, जब आप
Be
अभी
honest, it's
आप
okay.
इतना ऑनेस्टली कह रहे हो तो
हाँ,
मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि शायद वो इस वजह से कि एक टाइम का प्रॉब्लम है कि आपको खत्म भी करना होता है ये 10-15 मिनट में
हाँ,
कॉन्वर्सेशन।
वो है। एक बार तो तुम्हारे साथ ये हो चुका है। जिस
हाँ।
स्ट्रीम में आए थे और मैंने आखिर की तरफ मतलब हो सकता है तुमको बोलने का उतना वक़्त नहीं दिया या थोड़ा इंटरप्ट किया, वो भी होता है। क्योंकि एट द एंड ऑफ द डे
हाँ,
दिस इज़
वो तो
आल्सो अ यूट्यूब वीडियो राइट? इट्स अ पीस ऑफ कंटेंट। और अगर यहाँ
हुँ,
पे कोई एक चीज़ को 3 बार रिपीट करेगा, then the people who I also have to think about all the people who are watching it at a later point of time. So I try to
मेबी
jump
इट
in
हाँ।
to clarify things.
हाँ, पता नहीं मेरे को ऐसे क्यों लगता है जैसे जैसे आपका और मेरा ओपिनियन ना किसी-किसी चीज़ के बारे में इतना ज़्यादा अलग है, और पता नहीं
हुँ,
क्यों मतलब क्योंकि आई थिंक मेबी आई एम रॉन्ग बट आई थिंक आई आल्सो थिंक कि
हुँ।
आई कैन थिंक ऑफ थिंग्स इन अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड मैनर आल्सो बट
Yeah,
आई
yeah,
कम टू डिफरेंट कंक्लूजन्स
yeah. There is
जैसे
no yeah,
हुँ,
sure, sure. So like there can be two people who are extremely self-critical and they can be self-critical in different directions. They can be self-critical and then still come to different
हुँ,
conclusions. It's not as if everyone who's self-critical will come to will arrive on some kind of objective truth that is the foundation of reality.
So you're not aiming for that, right? That's the key. Not to aim one should aim to think in a better way, but not aim for the ultimate objective truth at the end of the day, right?
My position is I don't even know if there is an ultimate objective truth. So my goal is to simply talk to people, to see where people are coming from. If someone can give me a better way of thinking about reality than what I think I have, then I'll
Mm.
totally accept it. And if someone, usually it doesn't happen. Usually it happens that most people who come here give me versions of looking at reality, which I have actually gone through myself and have found flaws with them.
Mm.
So I reject the methods that people offer that uh, I myself have already found to be useless. And whenever someone gives me a better method of looking at things, I definitely go for it.
So do you find yourself changing your opinions on certain things on a day-to-day basis also?
Yeah.
कि
I
मतलब
mean, it
यार
doesn't happen on a day to day basis because it doesn't happen to on a day to
But
day
let's say
basis to
not
anyone.
not day to day, but in a short period of time, do you find yourself having your opinions changed on something?
I told you, my political views changed very radically a couple of years
नो
ago.
नो 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 वो तो चलो एक बार कंप्लीट हुआ जो
Hmm.
एक कह सकते हो आप कि एक ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन टाइप की जर्नी वो
Hmm.
दूसरी मैं वो नहीं मैं जनरल वे में कह रहा हूँ कि जैसे आज आप कुछ सोचते हो और
Hmm.
आपने 3-4 दिन के बाद आप किसी इंफॉर्मेशन से को एक्सेस कर पाए और उससे
Hmm.
आपका ओपिनियन किसी चीज के बारे में बदल गया ऐसा होता है मतलब
Yeah. I mean, that's
रेगुलरली
how. हाँ, रेगुलर ही होता है। आई थिंक सपोज तुमने कहा ना कि कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन मुझे मिली उसके बेसिस पे मैंने चेंज किया। दैट तो हैपेंस टू एवरीवन ऑल द टाइम। इट हैपेंस टू मी आल्सो। You think that something is true, but then certain information comes and you change your mind accordingly.
चलो बढ़िया है
Yeah.
अभी हाँ चलो होगा कोई और अभी इतना ही
हाँ, है
करते
ना।
हैं अभी मेरे को
चलो
यही
ठीक है।
पूछना था आपसे हाँ
Cool, cool.
थैंक
Thank
यू
you,
विमो
Dynamo.
हैप्पी
Bye-bye. अरे यार, he said thank you and then he wanted to say something else and that was Dynamo, क्या बोल रहे थे?
नहीं आई जस्ट वांटेड से हैप्पी होली
Thank you, thank you. Happy Holi to you also. Bye-bye.
बाय
That was Dynamo. अरे the person who appeared and then disappeared again, भैया रुक जाओ 5 मिनट के लिए, अभी तो हमारा ही टाइम था, but okay, he's gone. But so, uh, Shiroyasha. Hi, Shiroyasha. Shiroyasha.
Hey Vimoh, hi. I'm audible?
Hey, what's up?
I didn't know I was next in queue. I was actually having my
You
lunch.
weren't.
Sorry to
There was someone else in queue, but they
okay.
suddenly disappeared.
So I wasn't ready, so I was chewing. Okay.
Okay.
So first of all, like if I say happy Holi to you, how would you respond?
I would
Given
say
your
Happy
position
Holi.
or
I would say Happy Holi.
so like what does Holi mean to you?
I think it's a festival during which people are happy, and if someone is celebrating and they say Happy Holi to me, I can either start a conversation about why I don't believe in religion and they should not have said this to me, or I can just get rid of them by saying Happy Holi. I choose to save time.
Makes sense. Because
Yeah.
एक बार ये पहले डिस्कशन हो चुका है that when people
फेस्टिवल्स
say
पे एथिस्ट को क्या
नमस्ते.
करना है? ये बहुत कॉमन क्वेश्चन है, हाँ।
This also, and one other thing like regarding some namaste or something, like अगर मैं आपको बोलूंगा
हुँ,
नमस्ते है, तो you said that I maybe would not respond in namaste, I would say just say hi.
या
So like why would you not say namaste? मतलब अगर उस word का connotation अगर religious terms में जा रहा है, so
हुँ,
but you would not want to get into a discussion कि नहीं मैं इसलिए नमस्ते
या
नहीं बोलूंगा. So would you
See, it
also choose to
depends.
say namaste?
Am I in a debate with someone and we are debating the validity of saying
नहीं नहीं
namaste to people in the
डे
course
टू
of
डे
every day?
कम.
Then I'll just save time, man. Most पूरे दिन में 50 चीज़ें करने को होती हैं. I can
Correct.
spend some time explaining to someone why I would rather not say namaste and hi is better. But do I have the time? If I don't, I'll just say हाँ ठीक है, hello, चलो, bye. Let me get back to work. कौन करेगा इतना?
नहीं नमस्ते नहीं बोलोगे लेकिन रिटर्न में.
बोल लूँगा.
अच्छा
कोई
बोल
नमस्ते
लोगे.
बोलता है. If someone comes to my house to give me a pamphlet and I don't know and he says namaste, I'll say namaste. I don't know him. His saying namaste to me does not change my life in a major way. Me saying namaste to him just gets rid of him faster. So I'll
हाँ
just say
अग्रीड.
namaste. उसमें क्या है? There is such a
अग्रीड.
thing as real life, right? Real life comes with its own pressures.
या
We
या
cannot seek some kind of ideological purity in every human interaction. Sometimes it's okay.
हाँ makes sense.
Yeah.
The other question that I had is like continuing what Dynamo was asking you, तो मतलब
Hmm.
to elaborate that, could you quote any opinion of yours which has gone from say you believe on end of the spectrum and then you went to the other end of the spectrum and then you flipped back to what you originally believed? मतलब zigzag हुआ है, boomerang हुआ है एकदम. Has there ever been an instance?
No, zigzag तो कुछ याद नहीं आ रहा है. I suppose my opinions of individual people can have be like I'm someone who uh, like it's hmm, okay. It involves a friend of mine. Uh, we were friends, and then there was something that happened which caused us to not be friends. And I thought that I'm never going back to that person. But then that
Mm-hmm.
person came back to my life and asked for a second chance. And I said, yeah, I'll give him a second chance because he's valuable to me. And then we were friends again. So that happens quite regularly.
I see.
Yeah.
But it's like a day to day. I was thinking more of your opinions on समथिंग मतलब जैसे कुछ रिलीजियस या पॉलिटिकल किसी स्पेक्ट्रम में कुछ ऐसा हुआ हो where you have one set of beliefs then you went to the other end and then you came back.
Well, I have already spoken about my journey from atheism to religion to spirituality. You've seen that video, right?
I think I missed that.
It's on my main channel. If you go to my main channel, I have done one live
But
stream there.
okay,
If you click on the live stream tab, you'll find it. My journey from atheism to religion to
like just to
atheism or something.
summarize what do you talk about there?
I talk about how when I was a child, I was kind of an atheist, but then I
Mhm.
moved to a town and I missed my local culture and I kind of became religious as a result of my missing it. And then I'm now an atheist again.
But if you consider like this is going from religious to non-religious, I'm saying for instance going being religious, going to non being non-religious and then coming back to being religious for
Yeah,
whatever
so
reason.
that's what I'm saying. When I was a child, I could be described as an atheist.
Acha, okay.
From there, I went to religion, and then I came
Okay.
back to atheist.
So, what was the reason, if I may ask, of you being non-religious to start with?
I was a child and I heard these stories and they appeared preposterous to me. So I figured I don't believe. And then for a
Okay.
time, I did not think about religion at all because it played no role in my life, except, festivals आते हैं, हम लोग थोड़ा मजा करते हैं बस. And then I left my hometown and I went to a big city to work and I missed my local culture a lot. And because I kept thinking about it, when I went to a bookstore, I found books about it and I read books about it. And then I got religious again. In fact, that is where my fascination for mythology comes from. And
Mhm.
then a number of years passed, and my love for mythology and my appreciation and affection for my culture turned into political affection for a certain ideology. And then when I left the political ideology, my religious views also kind of just fell away. And now I'm back to being an atheist.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And last question: when you were into the right wing, when you were
Mm,
influenced by the right wing, at that
mm.
point, did you believe in a god?
Yes.
And what was that god like? What like if you ask the people to define their God? If I ask you at that point of time, what was your definition of God?
So it wasn't actually my period of being in the right wing was quite long. I mean, a few
Mm-hmm.
years at least. So there wasn't. It wasn't as if I turned right wing on Monday and suddenly started believing in
Mm-hmm.
God, and I left right wing on Friday and I stopped believing that day. My
Yeah.
definition also changed over time. So there
Okay.
was a period of time when I used to read Deepak Chopra and subscribe to his views. I used to read
Okay.
someone called Bruce Lipton, who's a author who kind of Christian, I suppose, who says that belief affects our biology in a very real way. The biology of belief, he wrote, and they that took me in dangerously close to anti-evolutionism, although I never completely subscribed to it. And then after all that kind of fell away, my definition of God became, okay, so maybe the universe was not created by some kind of being, but maybe God is just an idea in my head, and that is God. That's okay, I will call that God.
Okay.
And then after some time it was like, why am I calling this idea God? Because there are plenty of ideas in my mind and I'm not giving them a special place of any kind. Why am I treating this God idea as valid because that is what I'm looking to do? I It was around this time that I read Yuval Noah Harari's book, Sapiens, and there I found mention of how social evolution gave rise to pattern seeking behavior in societies, where patterns became the foundation of greater cooperation among ape species, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of explained to me कि मतलब मेरे माइंड में तब तक था कि yeah, everyone believes in God, everyone has some kind of idea, conception of a divine being. There must be a reason why it is so. And the book gave me an answer to that question of why it is so. And from that point onward, I was like, yeah, so it is possible to explain the religious impulse using scientific explanations. So there is no real reason to think of it as anything other than part of who we are as an animal.
I
And then
see.
it completely fell off. I was like, yeah, I'm an atheist.
Okay. So, like, did you believe in any like deity kind of a god, or were you deistic at any point of time?
I told you, I was like
Like at the
dangerously close
beginning,
to.
and then you. Hmm.
No, no, no. What are you asking exactly? When I was a right winger, did I believe in a god who was a deity?
Yes. No. At any point of time,
Huh, so
like
while I was a
because you
right
mentioned
winger,
that
while I
you
was a right
migrated. Sorry. Go ahead.
while I was a right winger, and shortly thereafter, I did believe in some kind of a deity like God. And this deity like God can probably best be found in Deepak Chopra's books. Like the idea that the universe itself is consciousness, and that consciousness, that universal consciousness can itself be called God. That is what I believed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Like that's all I have.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
आज इतने सारे लोग मेरी क्लास क्यों ले रहे हैं? Pointed out somebody. Indian immigrant says seems like Shiroyasha is taking Vimo's interview. Yeah, it seemed like आज मुझे बहुत से लोग मेरे बारे में पूछ रहे थे. But that's okay. That's okay. That's what the live stream is for. We are at 54 minutes. हमारे पास अभी 5 मिनट बाकी हैं. Let me use these last few minutes to read some comments. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Shikhar asks, do you think? Okay, we already answered this. Sorry. Uh, Prajit says, bro, I know this comment is out of context. I am impressed by your English speaking ability. Thank you, Prajit. It is an unfair advantage that people like me have in our job market. It is a result of the kind of upbringing I had, and it gives me an advantage over a lot of people because English speaking, unfortunately, has become one of the things that people look for when they are hiring. So if I and someone with my exact same qualifications but with bad English applied for the same job, I will probably end up getting it unless that person has greater social privilege than I do. It's called English privilege. Dr. J says JP in his lectures of Maps of Meaning said that Kali Mata and Shiva in Oedipus complex situation, Kali is evil mother to Shiv in some vague manner. What a be मैंने जॉर्डन पीटरसन को सीरियसली लेना बहुत साल पहले छोड़ दिया था क्योंकि आई डोंट थिंक एनीवन शुड टेक हिम सीरियसली ही इज जस्ट डेस्परेट फॉर अटेंशन एट दिस पॉइंट The Indian immigrant says, out of curiosity, which Odia dishes would you suggest for rest of the people to cook and try? If you ask an Odia person who was fond of Odia food, they would say dalma and maybe some other stuff like pokhara. But I'm personally not very fond of these things, so I don't think I will be the one recommending them. But if you are curious about Odia food, do some googling. Don't ask noobs like me. Anand says, Vimoh, what are your thoughts on the inclusion of mother tongue as the medium of instruction up to fifth, according to the new education policy? I think it is a good idea in theory, provided it is not used to uh, diminish the role of languages that are more widely spoken, like Hindi and English. And also, I have a problem with the phrase mother tongue. I prefer to call it native language, because when you say mother tongue, when you use the phrase mother tongue to refer to the language spoken at home, you're we kind of reinforcing the idea that the place of the mother is in the home, right? It's a little bit patriarchal. Rajit says, can you tell me how I can speak well like you? I think he's talking about English. Practice, man. Find a bunch of friends who are also interested in speaking in English and speaking with them in English regularly. Even if it is bad, just maybe you can have specific days of the week during which you speak only in English with your friends. If they ask or laugh at you, they're friends. They will laugh, maybe. Tell them that you're doing this to improve your English, and if they want, they can join you. Everything that you want to do better can only be done better by doing it. If you want to speak better English, speak in English. If you want to write better, write. If you want to become fitter, do the things that fit people do, exercise. Doing is the answer to all the things. Uh, Indian immigrant says, is there a possibility for you to sell your merchandise over Amazon or other e-commerce websites as well? Yes, but it's a bit of a hassle. Also, I try to use non-Amazon solutions wherever possible because, Jeff Bezos is an asshole. The Indian immigrant says, I bought Sabka Malik fake head t-shirt, but the size didn't fit properly. But the return process was so messy that I preferred gifting it to my cousin. Now I want one for myself. Okay. So now I guess you know which size you are. So maybe it'll help. Prajit says, sir, I watch lots of English movies, still can't English well. Can you give me some tips on how to improve my communication skills? I told you, watching will not do it. Like, it's like, मैंने टीवी पे किसी को स्विमिंग करते हुए देखा और मैं अपने फ्लोर पे लेट के हाथ पांव मारने लगा इस उम्मीद में कि मुझे स्विमिंग आ जाएगी. That's not going to help. You're only going to be able to speak English if you speak in English. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Be okay with making mistakes. Practice will make it better over time. I'm skipping a few comments. Uttam says culture and religion should be treated differently. Only when they are different. But many times people use them interchangeably, and I think whether or not we should treat culture and religion differently depends on what we mean by culture and religion in the context of any specific conversation. Sameep says, I'm an atheist. I say namaste all the time. Does it have something to do with religion? I thought it simply means hello. Yeah, but namaste is, namaskar means I bow to the divine within you. That's where namaste comes from. So it's got at least a semi-religious connotation. But then language is complicated and it borrows from religion a lot because religion is so pervasive. So you must have heard in North India people say चार बंदे खड़े थे. बंदे का मतलब क्या है? It comes from religion. हम तो किसी के बंदे नहीं हैं. But the phrase अल्लाह के बंदे या ऊपर वाले के बंदे या भगवान के slaves is religious. And that's where this idea of चार बंदे खड़े थे, दो बंदे खड़े थे comes from. In the course of normal conversation, it is quite difficult to take these words out and find replacements for them all the time. So I think it's okay. If there are religious words in language, it's okay to use them because you don't have the time to spend 15 minutes with everyone. तुम एक ऑटो में बैठ रहे हो, ऑटो में जो जो ऑटो ड्राइवर है वो बोल रहा है कि और दो बंदे आने दो मैं ऑटो स्टार्ट करता हूँ. तुम वहां बैठ के उसको भैया बंदे नहीं बोलना चाहिए, नहीं कर सकते. Life goes on. There are other things to do. So understanding is important and pointing it out whenever possible is important. But when talking to people, it's okay to say namaste and char bande, etc. Dubey says, when were you running Epiphyte, during or after your right-wing phase? I was running Epiphyte was kind of towards the fag end of it, towards the Like I was no longer associated with the right wing portal that I had been working on, but I still had certain views that might be considered right wing. But the journey of Epified, like Epified began, I was a right winger. When Epified ended, I don't think I was a right winger. So Epified was kind of a uh, fading out of my right wing phase. Not because of Epified, but because of other factors that happened during the course of that channel, that during the course of me running that channel. Right. Indian Immigrant says, I think we can do an episode where we submit questions in advance and then ask them to you in a live stream and make it like an interview thing. What do you think? I don't mind, but I think a better way of doing that would be, if the questions are about atheism, a better way of doing that would be simply to send me a mail with a question and say, this is for the Indian Atheist Podcast. And I'll include it there. Skipping a few. Shirosha says, damn, never thought about mother tongue having patriarchal connotations. I always thought it meant language where you were born to your mother. Okay. It could mean that, but generally speaking, I prefer to use the words native language. Shirosha says, let's just call it father tongue from now on. Prasad says, Vimoh, did you check the report I sent you on email on untouchability trends in India? Prasad, I received the email, but I haven't had the time to go through it yet. I will read it. Murli says, Vimo, what is your opinion on Ram Setu? Is it evidence of Ramayana and is it also evidence of God's existence? No, it is neither. Ram Setu, the structure that we call Ram Setu is a natural occurrence between the land masses that are now Sri Lanka and India. In ancient times, before the sea overtook, before the sea levels arose, this piece of connecting tissue between India and Sri Lanka used to be above the land, and that's why it is. At some point, it got included in mythological stories or folklore stories, and then it got included in the Ramayana. That is all that's happening. I don't think there is any evidence to indicate that the Ramayana happened there or that God exists, because we have a geological formation under the water. The Indian Immigrant says, but we do have an International Mother Language Day. I think it should be called the International Native Language Day, right? Okay, so I think we have reached the end of today's live stream. Again, I'll remind people that if you want to support the channel, you can do so by सुपर चैट तो भेज नहीं सकते, लाइव स्ट्रीम खत्म हो गया. You can click this thanks button under this video and you can send a donation on this YouTube channel under this video, or you can click the join button and become a member of this channel, or you can go to patreon.com/Vimoh and become a patron there, or you can go to my blog at vimoh.stck.me and click the support button there and make a donation of any amount of your choice. I'm an independent creator. This channel is basically run with your money. You are literally the sponsors of this show. So any support that you can send will be deeply appreciated. There's also merch at kadakmerch.com/Vimoh Live, where you can buy t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs and support this channel in that way. And with that, we reach the end of this episode. Okay. Bernali has come. Bernali says, some theists present domino effect to support karmic theory that every action has its equal and opposite reaction. What do you say? That applies to physical objects. Our moral conduct is not physical. Karma theory has to do with moral actions and consequences to moral actions. Physics does not apply there. Right. With that, we get to the end of today's episode. The next time I see you guys will be on Saturday at 8 p.m. Until then, please take care of yourselves and I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye.